Hello, Haku here, and do you remember the first time you have tasted ice cream? Sweet, isn't it? Now, what if I tell you there is Ice Cream 2, the sequel to Ice Cream 1? But in order to get Ice Cream 2, you have to throw away 2 normal ice creams. Would you do it? Just for the taste of it? Maybe you'd do it once, but what if I tell you there is Ice Cream 3? Now for Ice Cream 3, you have to throw away 5 Ice Cream 2s. Will you still do it? Now, that is just an analogy. There is no Ice Cream 2, there is no Ice Cream 3, and you don't have to waste ice creams to get either of those. But those are just analogies I want to tell you about something I want to talk about today. So the game I want to talk about is called Honkai Star Rail. And Honkai Star Rail recently have had an update, which includes 2 new characters. One is named Casterus. She has purple dress, she has a scythe, and she has a big dragon. The other one is called Anaxa, with an eye patch and a gun. Now the reason these 2 are controversial as of today is because there's one character that includes a global passive in her kit, named Casterus. She can revive any of your character even if she is not on the team. Now, most people in the gacha sphere hated the idea of a global passive that needs money in order to work, or which means you should pay it before you can get it. Nobody wants that. Picture this. You are about to eat in a restaurant, and it is your favorite restaurant. You go in, walk to a table, get your food, and that's it. The next day, they change their policies. Now, you have to wear a bow tie in order to order from their menu. But here's the catch. The bow tie should be bought from them. So, you buy one bow tie, and you have to wear it every time you eat in that place. Seems fair? That's just one bow tie. And you think it doesn't matter because it's just, maybe a new policy. Now, you go to the restaurant again. They have a new policy. Now, you have to buy their new polo shirt. And you also have to have the bow tie and the polo shirt together in order to buy their food. But you said, it's fine, I can afford that. The next day, or the next time you eat in that restaurant, now they need you to buy a jacket or a coat with your polo shirt and your bow tie. Now you need all those 3 in order to eat your favorite meal. Would you still buy it? Even if you like the food, maybe you'd buy those 3 sets of clothes and then eat at your favorite place over and over again. But to some people, that's not it. The first time is fine, the second time it's not okay. Now, for those who didn't understand the analogy, let me explain. For these kinds of gacha games, they will test your limits. First, they will give you a strong character, but of course the catch is you give them more money. Now, that character will be outdated and they won't get any money from it anymore because they reached the peak. Because, people are finite. And also gamers are finite too. So what happens to gacha gamers? Gacha gamers are more finite, meaning if everybody got that character, no one will get that character ever again because all of you already have it. So what do? They need a character that is more powerful than what they sold you before. So that's the bow tie, and now you need to buy the polo shirt. Now, after that, of course, their sales will peak and no one will buy it anymore. They will make a new one. So, they will make a more powerful character. That's what happens in these games. I'm sure you know it, I know it, and everybody knows it. But some people don't know how it works or why it's possible. But if you don't understand, that's fine. You're still growing. There's plenty of room to grow. Now, what Hoyoverse did, or what HSR did, right now, when they released those 2 characters, mainly Casterus, is that they opened the floodgates of hell. What I mean by that is, if they are willing to do that one global passive, that means they can do whatever they like. For example, you need to get this character and get a 10% boost for your, let's say, attack. Or they make another character that gives you 1 skill point that is, automatically applied to all your teams. For people that play the game, that enjoy the game, I think to them it's fine. But for most people that want to see big numbers, and they want to see the big booms they see on the screen without even spending much money or not spending money at all, or they want to, beat the game on their own, it's not fine. It's really not fine, because you need to spend more in order to see those big numbers again. Okay, but some people will say, just save for it. Just save for the next new character. But here's my counter argument. If you're playing the game just to save currencies, are you really having fun? Should you really be playing that game? Or should you be doing something else? But if you're really having fun saving currencies, then do that, And then when it's big enough number and you think you're satisfied, you can do whatever. Because for me, I also save currencies. I have like 600 tickets for the Fate collab, and that's not from grinding daily. That's from just logging in during ticket events and then logging out. So basically 7 days, I only do that for a minute. So I technically played that game for 7 minutes and then logged out. With also, with login bonus rewards. So I didn't get burnt out. But for those that, grind daily to get that 60, should you really be doing that? I mean, gacha games really have no ending. They're continuous, unless they suddenly become end of serviced, which means that's the ending. You're cut off, you don't know what will happen to the next story, it's over. That's it. So, if you are playing these gacha games just to pull, you do you. If you're playing these gacha games just to play, you also do you. But always remember, if you're not having fun, stop doing it. Play another game. Now that I got my message across, let's talk about those 2 characters. The first character, Casterus, everyone has been talking about it. You can watch their videos about it. It's been said multiple times that she's OP. But for me, I want to talk about Anaxa. Although Anaxa doesn't have the global passive that Casterus has, or any future characters might have, he is also a major power creep that everyone just ignored. People didn't really ignore him. He was not just talked about enough. So why did people glaze over him? The Casterus effect is just that unbelievable. Or it's just that powerful. I mean, it's a global passive. Now let's talk about Anaxa. People glazed over Anaxa, but not me. The first time I saw Anaxa, I was like, why would you pull for this guy? If you have Casterus, why would you pull for him? And then they told us his kit. What was his kit? Is to give weakness to every single enemy in the battlefield. Now, what does that mean for the game? So, this is a topic I want to talk about that may have been glazed over by some creators. Some probably talked about it, but for the people I've watched, they didn't really talk about it. But for me, I want to focus on Anaxa. So, when I saw his skill, that he can give off weakness to every, enemy on the field. So if you don't have these characters, you can just have Anaxa as your support, give the elemental disadvantage or weakness to the enemies, and then use your Kafka, use your Acheron, use your Firefly, and they would work. That's my first thought. But then, my thoughts delved in further. If they do this, and Anaxa can do this, that means they will buff the enemies even further. What do I mean by that? That means maybe in the future, the enemies will be, immune to this type of damage permanently, even if you put it onto him. Or maybe they will gain another shield, where you should break the shield first before you get to their main weakness. Or they can have double shields with different weakness. Or they can make an enemy where you can only target that enemy first before you can target the other enemies. So you can only apply weakness to that enemy. And then if you kill him, you can beat the others. Okay, kinda like the Argenti battle. but this time it's more OP. Or they can just simply put skills into the enemies where they will say, you cannot put any weakness in this enemy. That means your Firefly would be useless, your Anaxa would be useless, and your Bootil might be useless, and also your Silver Wolf too. It depends on what they do, but since they open the floodgates, I think that's what will happen. Hopefully not, fingers crossed. So if they're willing to do that, that means they are willing to make you pay for your account to get stronger, and also make your previous characters useless. I think in a business standpoint that makes sense. You know, you have to get more money more fast, no? But for us, it's gonna be ass. But anyway, that's a gacha game. And that's the sad truth about gacha games. You just have to accept that. Some people might say, no, why would you accept that? It's trash, it's trash, they treating you like trash. But you have to remember, a gacha game is made to make profit. Well, everything that's made now is made for profit. Even your single player games. Sure, they are made for profit, true, but gacha games are made to maximize, to squeeze everything from you. They are not made to, make everyone happy. They are made to squeeze the people who are willing to spend on them. Do normal games do that to you? No. If you buy it, you buy it. It's a product. Gacha games, they're just made to get you. That's it. But you win if you enjoy the game, play it for what it is, and you don't play it for the currencies. Like daily grinds for the currencies. That's not a way to play games. Yeah. So if you want the currencies, do the stories, log in when there's a 7-day reward, but don't play it when you don't feel like playing it. Remember, if you enjoy the game, keep playing it. If you feel like you dread playing it or you have burned out, you're not a streamer, you can decide not to play it. I know it's hard for those who are in FOMO, but I know you can do it. I know you can do it. So anyway, like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. I'm Haku. Haku out.